Right now, thousands of cruise passengers are starting their mornings the hardest way possible. They wake up hungry, walk straight into the buffet crowd, wait in long lines, and end up with the same tired breakfast they could have had anywhere. But the hidden problem is that some of the best morning food on the ship is not always sitting in the obvious buffet trays. Fresh-made stations, dining room upgrades, quiet corners, and included items are being missed every single morning. And the worst part? Many of these options are already part of the cruise you paid for. So before you waste another breakfast fighting for a table or settling for whatever is under a heat lamp, here are the cruise breakfast secrets most passengers never notice. Starting with number 1. The custom omelet station. The first smart breakfast move on a cruise is simple. Walk past the big tray of scrambled eggs and look for the cook making omelets fresh on the spot. A lot of passengers see a small line and instantly give up. They assume it will take too long, so they grab whatever is already sitting in the buffet. But that quick choice can mean starting your morning with eggs that have been made in a large batch and held under heat, instead of a breakfast cooked right in front of you. The omelet station is different because you control what goes in it. You can ask for mushrooms, spinach, onions, peppers, extra cheese, or whatever toppings are available that morning. And instead of just pointing, be clear with the cook. Say what you want less of, and how you like it finished. That small detail can turn a rushed buffet plate into something that feels much closer to a real restaurant breakfast. And for plant-based cruisers, do not assume fruit is your only hot breakfast option. On many ships, if you ask ahead, the dining room or kitchen may be able to help with alternatives like tofu scramble or other custom options. The key is knowing to ask before you settle. Next, there is one breakfast move that can save your entire port morning. Number 2, the port day grab and go breakfast. Port mornings can turn breakfast into a full contact sport. Everyone wants to eat, get coffee, find a table, meet their group, and get off the ship at almost the same time. That is why the buffet can feel extra stressful on port days. The lines move slower, the seating disappears faster, and a simple breakfast can suddenly eat up the time you wanted to spend getting ready for shore. Smart cruisers do something different. Instead of fighting the buffet crowd, they look for quick-made to-order spots or grab-and-go stations that are open for breakfast. On some Carnival ships, that may be Blue Iguana Cantina. On some Royal Caribbean ships, it may be El Loco Fresh. Availability can vary by ship, so check your app or daily schedule. The advantage is speed. A warm breakfast wrap or burrito with eggs, cheese, salsa, vegetables, beans, hash browns, or whatever toppings are offered can be filling, easy to carry, and much less stressful than hunting for a buffet table. And if you prefer something sweet, look for the waffle station. Fresh waffles with fruit, syrup, whipped cream, chocolate chips, or even a nearby soft-serve scoop can turn a rushed morning into a small vacation treat. Next, the best breakfast bite on the ship may depend on showing up before everyone else. Number 3, the early pastry basket advantage. One of the easiest breakfast upgrades on a cruise happens before most passengers are even fully awake. While guests are still getting dressed or heading toward the buffet, the bakery team has already been working for hours to get fresh pastries ready for morning service. And timing matters here. A croissant early in breakfast is not the same as a croissant that has been sitting out halfway through the morning. When you catch it fresh, it should feel lighter, flakier, and more buttery, with a crisp outside and a soft center. But once those pastries sit too long, they start losing the texture that makes them special. That is why smart cruisers either show up early or change where they eat. Instead of grabbing whatever is left on an open buffet tray, try breakfast in the main dining room. On many ships, you can get a basket with items like croissants, muffins, or chocolate pastries brought right to the table. Sometimes the server brings it automatically, and sometimes you have to ask. So when you sit down, ask politely for the morning pastry basket. And if there is something you really like, ask for another piece, or a second basket. It is one of the simplest ways to make a basic cruise breakfast feel much more premium. Next, there is a quiet station many passengers walk past without realizing it may be one of the best breakfasts on board. Number 4, the hidden made-to-order crepes. This is one of those breakfast stations people miss simply because it is not always in the most obvious place. On some ships, the crepe station may be tucked into a quieter area of the buffet, offered only at certain times, or served in the dining room depending on the cruise line and ship. And because it is easy to overlook, the line is often much shorter than the main buffet rush. That is the mistake. Passengers walk past it, grab ordinary pancakes or toast, and never realize there is a fresh-made option being cooked right there on a hot griddle. A good cruise ship crepe feels completely different from a standard buffet breakfast. The batter is spread thin, cooked quickly, and served with soft edges, a delicate center, and just enough crispness to make it feel special. It is fast, fresh, and made for you instead of sitting under a heat lamp. You can go savory with something like ham and cheese if it is offered, but the sweet version is usually the real vacation move. Nutella and banana, strawberries, whipped cream, lemon or sugar can turn it into a breakfast that feels closer to a calf treat than a buffet item. So if you spot a crepe station, do not walk by it. That quiet corner may be hiding one of the best morning upgrades on the ship. Number 5. The main dining room brunch classics. Some breakfast foods just do not work well when they are made in huge batches. Anything that depends on timing, texture, or temperature usually does better when it is cooked to order. That is why smart cruisers make time for at least one breakfast in the main dining room. The dish to watch for is Eggs Benedict. Instead of something sitting in a buffet tray, you get a toasted English muffin, Canadian bacon, a poached egg, and warm hollandaise served as a finished plate. When it is done right, the yolk is soft, the sauce is smooth, and the whole thing feels much more like a real brunch than a rushed buffet breakfast. On some ships, you may also see versions with smoked salmon or other upgrades depending on the cruise line. So always check the menu before assuming every breakfast is the same. This is also where meat orders can improve. Buffet bacon is often held under heat, but in the dining room or at certain grill stations, you may be able to ask for a better texture. If you like it crisp, ask for it extra crispy. The lesson is simple. When the dish needs careful cooking, skip the buffet and let the dining room handle it. Number 6. The specialty French toast mornings. Setting an alarm for breakfast on a cruise might sound unnecessary, until you realize some dining room dishes are only worth it when you catch them at the right time. French toast is one of those dishes. The buffet version can be fine, but the main dining room version can be a completely different experience. On many ships, you may see thick-cut brioche or similar bread soaked in a rich custard with flavors like vanilla, cinnamon, cream, or eggs, then cooked until the outside is golden and the inside stays soft and almost bread pudding-like. That texture is the reason people remember it. The real secret is that specialty French toast is not always offered every morning. Some cruise lines rotate it through the breakfast menu under names like brioche French toast, overnight French toast, or other special versions. So if you wait until the last day, you may miss it completely. The smart move is to check the dining room breakfast menu in the app, or ask your server when special French toast is being served. If you see it, plan your morning around it. Next, some of the most expensive breakfast foods on land may already be included on your cruise. Number 7. The included luxury breakfast foods. One of the biggest breakfast mistakes on a cruise is treating the buffet like it only has basic food. Some of the best value items are easy to miss because they do not look flashy, but on land, they can cost a lot more than people expect. Smoked salmon is a perfect example. A lot of passengers walk past it because they do not think of it as breakfast. But on many ships, it is there in the morning, and it can turn a simple plate into something that feels restaurant level. Toast a bagel, add cream cheese, layer on smoked salmon, then finish it with capers, red onion, and lemon if they are available. Suddenly, you have a breakfast that feels far more premium than a basic buffet plate. The fruit section deserves a second look, too. If you only grab melon and grapes, you may miss better options depending on the itinerary. In places like the Caribbean or Southeast Asia, ships may carry tropical fruits such as mango, papaya, dragon fruit, passion fruit, star fruit, or sweeter pineapple. Availability can vary, but the point is simple. Before you assume the fruit station is boring, slow down and look closely. Next, there are lighter breakfast upgrades that feel premium without making your morning heavy. Number 8. The light premium breakfast upgrades. Not every cruise breakfast has to be huge to feel special. Sometimes the smartest move is choosing the lighter items that most people overlook. Oatmeal is a good example. In the buffet, it may be sitting in a large warmer and feel plain or watery. But in the main dining room, you may find a better version with a thicker texture and toppings like nuts, dried fruit, honey, or fresh berries. It is still simple, but it feels more intentional. Yogurt parfaits can be another quiet upgrade. They may not look exciting at first, but a good parfait with thick yogurt, fruit, granola, and honey can be one of the easiest breakfasts before a busy port day or a long day in the sun. On many ships, oat milk, almond milk, soy milk, or other alternatives may be available for coffee or oatmeal, even when they are not sitting out in the open. And if you ask ahead, some kitchens may be able to help with items like vegan pancakes or waffles, depending on the ship and cruise line. The hidden trap here is the drink station. Buffet juice is often the basic option, while fresh squeezed juice may be treated as a premium item or included only with certain beverage packages. So on your first morning, ask whether fresh juice is included for you before you order it every day. So here is the real lesson. Do not follow the crowd automatically. Check the menu, explore the ship, ask politely, and use the options that are already part of your cruise. Now I want to hear from you. What is the one cruise breakfast item you never skip? Drop it in the comments, because the best tips often come from other cruisers. And if you want to keep avoiding cruise mistakes and finding smarter ways to travel, subscribe and watch the next video on screen. Start your morning smarter, and the whole cruise feels better.